And we're live.
And that's how I killed that hooker the one time.
Will you stop making that joke as the intro? That is the second time you've done that.
I like just being... I can't think of the word.
It's a non sequitur.
I like being consistent.
I'm going to start with the introductions. I am Lion, I'm the GM, and we're going to see if Nargosh is actually here at the moment. Nargosh, you're first up on introductions.
I don't think he's here.
I don't think so either. So, next up we have a Skatla.
Hello, I'm a Skatla, the orc shaman.
That person is currently not here. So we have Weiss next.
Hello, I'm Weiss, human monk.
Next up, Farain.
Just kidding.
I think she has muted herself where her sound device does not wake her at the moment. Well, while we wait for that to resolve, we also have Morgren.
Yay, the dwarf fighter. That's what I am.
Hello?
There we go. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, my sound decided, no, it didn't like me. Are you done, Weiss?
And hooray! Now I have the correct overlay. So we have a fancy new overlay that I spent all of 20 minutes working on in Photoshop.
I still see the Lego orc village.
You will not be able to see it in just Roll20. It is part of the stream only. So, when previously we left off, I'm just going to ignore the fact that Nargosh isn't here. The party has managed to liberate the village that is now called Meha. Or Mia. Something.
Meha.
Meha. And Skatla is currently in charge of the village, and the night is falling on on this day. Is there anything else you wish to attend to in the village before nightfall?
A Skatla would try to tend to any wounded as she could, at least any visibly badly wounded, and make sure that everyone had shelter and some kind of security for the evening. She would go around trying to find any able-bodied, male or female orcs who could help stand guard and rotate watches throughout the night to make sure any usurpers, tried to come back and retake the village while it was still vulnerable.
Okay. Simple enough to do. You can set up a guard, or shift of guards, and make sure the village is secured.
Weiss volunteered to be the first watch.
I'll watch with him.
But who watches the watchers?
Watcher,
That's
of course.
fine.
Oh, and now I'm sad.
Sorry.
Oh, hey, I think Nargosh is here.
I've been
He
here.
was a douche.
Well, you didn't introduce yourself.
Oh, well, I'm Narga. I do stuff and things.
So, as night falls, who wants to be the first to receive their dream?
Not it.
I'll do
Nose
it.
goes. Touching my nose.
I'll touch my nose.
Not it.
Someone just volunteered. It was also
Farain.
conveniently the one that I was going to start with.
Oh, damn it! It didn't even matter.
Farain, your dream comes to you and is relatively simple. You see before you a great tree with 3 Y-shaped branches. In the are held between each, in the branches, each are a sphere. One is a dark black, one is a verdant green, and the other is a sort of globe or mixture of blue, white, and green. And you see at the foot of the tree a terrible battle raging. And it appears whoever is defending the tree is very slowly losing this battle.
And now tell us why it reminds you of your parents.
It shouldn't, however, it should remind... You missed me saying that token is not relevant, Aaron.
Oh.
It's nothing you need to worry about. I was screwing around with tokens.
He was helping me with my macros last night.
The
Oh my.
all right, George Decay, shut up. The tree, from what you remember of your druidic lore, is believed to be the world tree. What?
So something's eating out the world tree. Fantastic.
Yep. And you get a very, very overwhelming sense of urgency regarding this dream.
Stop dreaming about the end of the world, Fair. God.
I can't help myself, okay? Sorry.
Stop avoiding the plot for 180 days.
We're awesome like that.
Stop drawing on the map.
We need to go find this tree. Huzzah! Let's go.
Well, who wants to do the next dream? Each of you will be receiving a dream today.
I'm still on guard duty, so I want to be sleeping.
Well,
I vote Nargosh.
Nargosh goes last. His is special.
Alright, you can do me.
Alright.
Do me. Do me.
Aren't you on night watch? Did
I-
you fall asleep at your post?
No,
Yeah,
I'm just going to assume that it's going to be... It doesn't matter, like, chronologically when you receive them, you'll receive them all over the course of the night.
Okay. Well, he still fell asleep at his post. And for that, he gets 40 lashes. And then he walks the plank.
You're landlocked. You are not
Walks the
near...
plank.
Well, your dream is very simple. You see before you a giant boulder or what appears to be a giant boulder at first. As you inspect it, you realize the boulder is actually an earth elemental. And you can see the earth elemental is in great amounts of pain and is slowly being corrupted in some manner.
No.
You can't explain why, but you feel a great amount of connection to this earth elemental. You also, in seeing this earth elemental bound this way, receive a sense of great urgency as well. You had a short dream. Ascatla or Weiss?
Go with the Scala.
Damn it, Aaron.
I deleted it already.
Ascatla, your dream is a vision of your father. He is standing behind a tribal bonfire, and it appears he is talking with someone. You can't tell who, or you can't tell what they're talking about, but they are just talking.
Does he have any particular expression on his face? Like,
A very neutral expression.
okay, so something that might be considered, purposefully neutral, diplomatic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But he is talking, and you get the feeling it's a discussion at great lengths about something important. And as the dream comes to an end, you very shortly glimpse the figure that he was talking to. And the figure that
Was Watcher.
No. That would be hilarious, though.
It was Phantom Nargosh.
Probably. It is actually an orc that you know of as Radbug Voltog, the current great chieftain of the lands. Although, this version of him appears to be much younger than the last time you've seen him.
He's the one that I'd have to report to announce the change in leadership and name of the village, I believe.
Yes, he is.
Okay. He's young. Flashback.
And Weiss, your dream is more of a flashback to a series of events you had hoped to long since put behind you and forget. The attack on your temple. You just see the people that you were helping defend the temple with being cut down, and the terrible chaos. But you see something you hadn't seen before while you were there. A few other figures skulking about that hadn't been orcs that were or the orcs that were attacking the village or temple. You cannot place the importance of these figures, but they are present.
How many can I perceive even if I can't see them clearly.
3 distinct individuals. These were not students of the Order, that much you can tell because they weren't dressed as members of the Order, but they were also not orcs because you can make out enough of them to see their human features. And this is your dream. Now, Nargash, your fun dream.
You know, when you put it that way, it just sounds wrong.
I'm gonna retcon that and say that Nargosh doesn't sleep ever again.
No, you're having this dream.
Pussy.
Nargosh rips off his eyelids.
You don't need eyelids to sleep.
Yes, you do.
His eyes just shrivel up.
No, you don't, actually.
You are standing on a side of the bonfire that you have not stood on since you were a child, the last time you got reprimanded for doing something. You get the feeling all too well that you know what's about to happen. Because opposite of you is what you believe to be a chieftain's tent, and the chieftain's seat out the bonfire. As you are standing there, 4 figures emerge from the chieftain's tent. One sits himself on the stone chair, and the 3 stand at his right. You have been reprimanded enough to know that the 3 standing on the right are accusers. They are the ones who are about to accuse whoever is the defendant of something. You can tell the 3 figures that are standing beside the chieftain are very important. They are all orcs, and they are all dressed in war chief gear. They all have grisly trophies and horrible amounts of scarring. The figure on the stone throne will clear his voice or clear his throat and say, "Is this Nargosh that stands before us?"
Am I supposed to respond to them?
You believe so.
Yeah, I'll just step forward and go, yes. You know, he's gonna puff out his chest and do his whole Nargosh thing.
Aw, he's so adorable.
The figure on the stone the stone seat will say, "Do you know who you stand before?"
No.
He will nod his head and say, "Very well. The accusers can stand forward and announce themselves." The figure farthest to his right will step forward. "I am Throck Voltog, first chieftain of Voltog's domain. I stand as an accuser." And he will step back in line. The next one will step forward. "I'm Ufthal Vigolm, first chieftain of Vigolm's domain. I stand as an accuser." And he steps back. And the third one and the one that is most notably most scarred and carries the most grisly trophies, steps forward. "I am Groomish, god of the orcs, and I stand as an accuser." And he will step back.
Oh.
You're screwed.
And the person sitting on the seat will stand and say, "I am Cord, your god. I stand as chieftain for this trial." And he will sit himself back down. I'll say, "Before the charges are brought against you, do you have anything you wish to say or anything of that sort?"
No.
He'll say, "Very well." And he will say, The 3 beside me, your accusers, have levied the following charges. Cowardice," and Throck will stand forward and say, "This is my charge," and step back. "Dishonorable conduct," Ufthal will stand forward and say, "This is my charge," and oath-breaking, and Groomish will step forward and say, "This is my charge." You will say, "Now, what say you?"
They're gonna have to be a lot more specific.
I'll say, "Very well. We will take care of each of these charges individually." And Throck will step forward and say, "On the charges of cowardice, I will provide you with several such examples of your acts of cowardice." And he will say, First in this line is your sealing of Andreas in the tomb. You had within you the power to confront him directly and stop him then and there, but you took the coward's way out by sealing him away and forgetting about him. I'll say, in addition, you have began fights without provocation or any amount of fair warning. While I am no stranger to ambushes and such, you blatantly assaulted and killed people who were simply doing their job without ever providing any amount of warning. They stood no chance against you. This is an act of a coward.
Damn.
And Cord will say, "What say you on these charges?"
Say you're sorry. No.
He's gonna just kind of look around the room like, stalling.
Filibuster.
Cord will clear his throat and say, "If you have nothing to say, we can move on to the next charge."
I was gonna go back for the mage, but then somebody decided to take out huge bounties on our heads. And as such, I had to remove my charge from danger. The mage will be dealt with eventually.
But in sealing him away, you have made him more powerful than you realized, and you have endangered countless lives when you could have struck him down before or without ever sealing him in the tomb.
He's more powerful in a hole than outside of a hole.
He will conjure forth some sort of image sphere, and inside of it you can see Andreas stepping outside from the tomb, radiating with a great glow of power. And then it follows him along a very sped-up course, leaving from where he was and traveling to numerous places, doing various things from claiming powerful artifacts to just, hiring people.
Go, dude, you're gonna kill us.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, he can teleport, can he?
I'll say, that is but one of the things he can do. And that was before you sealed him in. Now he can do so much more.
Well, then I should get on that. You should probably send me back so I can take care of him.
The charges have not all been addressed.
I'm just sitting here. My mouth kind of hanging open. I don't know how you're gonna talk your way out of this one.
I'm sitting here giggling like a little girl. I'm going, you're so screwed.
Parain, let's go to the bar.
I normally flex at people and it makes things better. You can't flex at Cord.
Or
Can't flex at a god.
you can't. You're standing in the presence of two gods and two people who are effectively gods in the eyes of orcs.
Yeah, so I can't outflex these guys, so my way of talking is kind of eliminated.
Roll for lawyer.
Yes. No.
Where's Carl when you need him?
Can I, see, I don't know if that's gonna be a good idea here or not. Asking for a lawyer.
You have been through enough of these proceedings that the closest that the orcs get to lawyer is representing yourself in a trial by combat.
See, I was thinking of like summoning a tiefling or devil lawyer.
Yeah, I don't recommend arm wrestling Cord.
Yeah, basically these trials go in one of two ways. Either you submit to the charges levied against you as a guilty plea, or as guilty before they elaborate on them, or you sit through all of them and at the end you are provided two choices: a trial by combat or a judgment by the chieftain.
Well, he already hates me.
Cord?
Oh, no. I thought you meant the other chieftain.
No. In this case, Cord is the acting chieftain. It would be very weird if Groomish head chieftain of all orcs sat as chieftain in a case where he's also the accuser.
Well, if anybody could do it, it'd be him.
Yeah.
But, so I locked a mage up. I killed mages. They don't like that, apparently.
No, you killed without any amount of fair warning, and you killed people who were just doing their job.
Yeah, see, the doing their job thing doesn't... I don't think that really applies, because if it's their job, they knew what they signed up for. I didn't know I was supposed to warn people. This,
It's
Yeah.
the whole Warriors code. You have to give them like fair warning, so otherwise the challenge is like a coward's perspective.
I took
opportunity
an
to
axe
attack.
out.
You took an axe out and...
Referring to the village that we just took over, how you just charged in.
There...
He's referring to the mage tower. This is before you joined
Damn
Fair.
it.
We went to a mage tower, and there were mages guarding outside. They were very cordial, very civil, carried on
And now
conversations
very
with
dead.
us, and now they're very dead because
I love that
Nargosh
they're very
forgot
dead.
to change his tampon and decided to attack them. And now they're corpses, and yeah.
They are corpses.
We kind of got a bounty on our heads because we fucked with the Mages Guild and killed several more down the road when they tried to ambush us. It was kind of a fustercluck.
Yeah.
And it's all Nargosh's fault.
No. No. So what's the third one?
The second one,
Does
you
this
haven't
have
even
to
gotten to
share
the second charge.
What?
responsibilities?
That was all one?
Yes, that was the charge of cowardice.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
And Thrak will step back in line, and Uthal will stand forward. My charge is dishonorable conduct. I will provide for you several examples as well. And he will create an orb. Yes, several. He will create another image orb similar to what Thrak had created. And it is a subdued captive that you have bound. And I think you know where this is about to go. The first example, he will say, is you slaughtering a subdued captive who yet posed no threat to you. You could have
He's a
taken him.
mage. He could
He
have got out and burnt everybody to death at any time.
he posed no threat to you. You could have turned him into the proper authorities if you felt he was performing wrongdoings. He will say, this is but one example. The next example is that you do not accept yields. A warrior is entitled to yield and be subject to any code of law for the battle. You did not accept any yields offered to you or granted to you when you should have.
Who did that? Nobody ever surrendered.
Yes, they did! Several people did offer or did say yield.
Yeah, they kind of did.
Several of the mages have said yield. They have also offered yields.
They're not people. They don't count. They're corrupted and they corrupt the
Or
world,
not
and
unfit for yourself.
now because of them, there's meteors everywhere.
Grumash will stand forward and clear his throat and say, if you believe they are not people, then what claim you of your powers? They are magical in nature.
They're rage.
No, they are not. They are powers granted to you by your spiritual connection to us.
That's
A
different.
form of magic. It is not.
It's not arcane in any nature. That's
Because it's
of-
arcane makes it the only source of magic, and he will produce several images of other people. One of
Rain,
them...
let's go to the bar.
You guys are asleep.
I think mud wrestling's gonna work.
I will
Is this-
sleepwalk to the bar.
Is this Nargosh's dream?
Yes, this is his dream.
I'm just making sure.
Yep. He produces several orbs. In one of the orbs stands a tall, beautiful woman clad in blue and white plate mail, and she's producing bolts of electricity from her hands, throwing them at enemies, them at her enemies, and cutting them down. He says, "Is this not magic?
Yes.
Did you know that this is not arcane in any capacity? She is granted
No.
this power by Paylor."
But
She-
he does like heaven fire.
And you, on sight, judged it as arcane magic, something that you were apparently sworn against.
Don't forget the magic that Escatla wields.
Yep.
That's primal. That's because of ancestors. It's allowed.
My granddaddy gave
You
me that
can't
power.
be corrupted by the...
Yes,
magic.
you can. Malgar is the perfect example, and he will produce the Orb of Malgar, or an orb that shows Malgar. He had primal powers, a primal tie to one of his ancestors, and it corrupted him ultimately, and led him to part of the situation you're in.
So he's the reason I'm here. That bastard.
He is a reason you are here. There are many other reasons you are here. Some of them have been stated already. I'll say, do you have any other say in this charge of dishonorable conduct?
No.
Uthal will stand back, and Groomish, who is still currently standing forward, will say, and I charge you with oath breaking on 3 accounts. He will say, first is you have put your own petty vengeances and vendettas in the way of your oath to protect Escatla. You have put her in great amounts of danger numerous times because of your own petty choices.
It was fun.
I wouldn't see you fit to be a bodyguard for my slaves.
Do you?
Ouch.
Yeah, that hurts.
I'll say,
You are getting screwed, dude.
Yeah, well, it happens.
the next is blatant disregard to Escatla's wishes. On numerous occasions have you taken dangerous and powerful artifacts into your possession for no reason other than you believe them to be dangerous, or that you believe them to not be a corrupting influence against the wishes of your charge. And finally, and he produces an orb filled with an image, and it's a scene of a building filled with 6 or 7 dead and slaughtered bodies. Say,
On
you-
fire?
no, they are not on fire. He's not going to bring that up because that was Shintoinlin.
Okay, I had to make sure.
He says, and for breaking your oath to the Realm Protectors, you have
They wanted to
endangered.
put me in jail.
You have broken these oaths well before the charges were levied.
I told you to bury that damn thing in the desert.
You,
You're not even here.
I know.
You can
I
hear
am-
her voice.
Escatla appears like a little drunk angel on your shoulder, you know, just all slack and stuff. And like...
So if if Nargash's angel shoulder is Escatla, who the hell is his devil shoulder?
It's also Escatla, just...
It's Watcher.
It's
Watcher.
Watcher. It's Watcher. I see Watcher with little devil wings.
Watcher's there like, I fucking hate you.
Yes.
that's all he says.
He's gonna hate you from beyond the grave.
He just gets out like a little coconut with booze in it and an umbrella, just starts drinking it. Like, I fucking hate you.
Just flip him off behind your neck.
Grumish says, you broke and disregarded your oath to the Realm Protectors. These 7 people are dead and countless more injured or sick because you forsook your oath to the Realm Protectors and went off again on your petty vendetta.
Petty, petty, petty.
What say you?
Who are those 7 people? I don't remember them.
You never saw them.
Oh,
They
see,
were-
how's that my fault?
You will say, because these were villagers in the village you were stationed in and set to stay. Your presence there would have prevented this massacre.
So they're all dead.
These 7, yes. And countless more are sick or injured because of you.
So you want me to go back and fix it?
No, I want you to stand before me as someone who has broken their oath and admit to it.
Yeah, I did do all that.
And we'll say, unless you have any other statements, I will leave this to the chieftain.
Nargash is just gonna walk forward and put his axe before them, and then go back to where he was. And just wait.
Cord will sit and deliberate for a moment and say, I have something to show you before I levy sentences. And he will walk around the fire and tap you on the shoulder. And from from your lower body, from about your stomach or your chest, you see a golden cord about 3 inches in diameter emerge. And you'll
So he
say,
just pulled gold out of my stomach.
it's a golden rope that appears to extend off in various directions, branching off in different places. And you'll say, do you know what this is?
No.
You'll say, this is a thread of fate. This signifies that you are destined to do something that will affect the world, or even more specifically, individual nations or people. Most people have a thread no thicker than the width of a nail, or the breadth of a nail. But you, and he will point to the cord and say, you have this thread.
How big was it?
3 inches in diameter?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got a 23 to flex at the cord, but yeah, that's right.
Nothing happens.
Wait, what do you mean? I can't flex?
No, you can flex, but nothing happens from the flex.
Oh, but no, it's just him being happy. He's like, yeah.
You know, say, in normal circumstances such as this, I would merely strip you of power and cast you out to fend for yourself until you've proven yourself to corrected your crimes. But he will point again to the cord and say, I cannot do this in this situation. This cord denotes that you are bound for something great, whether it is on the side of good or the side of evil, and I cannot interfere with this. He will say, what I can do, however, and he will motion to Groomish, and Groomish will step over and produce a silvery orb. Say, I can provide you this, and he will give you the orb. He will say, this orb will be a constant judge. He will say, should it view your acts as violating the primary tenets of courage, honor, valor, and maintaining oaths, it will punish you. But this punishment is not without its upsides. This blade is and will always be the weapon that Groomish has wielded. And he will say, so long as...
An orb?
You know, he will laugh and say, no, it takes whatever shape Groomish desires it to, or the wielder desires it to. He'll say, so long as you have this blade, you will be able to be aided in your fulfillment of your destiny. But, at the end of that fulfillment, you will stand trial again.
Alright.
And we'll say, do you accept this?
Doesn't look like I have much of a choice. I'll take the orb.
Okay. I am about to send you something, but as you take the orb, you wake up and you find yourself in possession of the orb.
Nargosh is gonna yell out, damn!
Which orb?
The silvery metal orb that had been handed to him in his dreams.
If Better Greg pops out of that, I'm gonna hit you.
Better Greg is not popping out of it.
I'm serious though. If Better Greg pops out of that orb.
What does that X mean?
That is explained a little bit later after the properties. I just want you to know that yes, you can make it always soft crit, but you're going to die if you do. Because you don't have access to any of those healing surges. But you have awoken, and the night has passed. You do hear... one last whispering as you wake up, and it will say, and it will be from the orb, and it will say, "This is not the last court of accusers you will face."
What?
This was the most lenient.
I could just imagine like 50 people behind the 3 that were just explained at the end of this not session, but the end of this game, and then like us on the other side as defenders.
Man, I didn't kill that many people yet.
Exactly my point.
This reminds me of that episode of Star Trek when Q puts Picard on trial for all of mankind's sins.
That was one of the inspirations for what just happened.
I had a feeling.
How do I make it a D12?
Hmm?
The axe.
Oh, you just declare it as a great axe.
Oh,
My question is it sad that I know that?
Basically, it can be any one weapon type you want, Aaron.
You just know your friends really well.
So it can be a great axe or an executioner axe, although executioner axe would be a terrible, terrible investment there.
Why?
Can
'Cause
we
it's
not
one-
make it an axe the size of a goddamn small village?
I can't pick it up then.
I decided to watch you
Fucking
try.
axe! You can do whatever the fuck you want!
But, because the one property you get from it, the brutal, is lost given that other power the axe or the weapon has.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's gonna be a great axe. Let's see.
But, morning has come.
Is everybody awake?
Yes, everyone will wake. At this point, Ascatla, you can convene anyone you wish to aid in all of the hubbub of stuff going on.
Well, usually when situations like this happen, certain people sort of pop up via reputation as being kind of respected amongst the community. So
Yep.
Ascatla would keep an ear out and try to gather these individuals together to help her delegate order, reassurance throughout the village.
Yep.
And also from them try to gather as much information as she possibly can about events leading up to the, usurper. I'm kind of dumb, I don't know how to say that word in this context. The takeover of the village.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she'd be doing right now. And once she got all that information together, she would want to form a small party to help her go look for her sister, to whom she plans on transferring power.
Two such individuals will come forward. One is a shaman. He was the shaman to your father while he was still ruling, and he is a shaman by the name of Lukil. He will come to you and say, by rights of the land, every chieftain must have a shaman. Even if the chieftain themselves is a shaman, they cannot serve both as chieftain and shaman of the village. I will stand as your shaman if you need me to.
Miss Scotland would, bow her head. She wouldn't say much or make much of an expression because most of her thoughts are internal. But she would show him the respect, obviously, that he deserves as not only an elder but a fellow shaman. And then she'd look to the other person for a quick introduction, whoever that is.
The other person is a master huntsman named Lugdog, and that is a terrible name, I just saw. He will say, I am the head huntsman of the village. He will say, I maintain the troop of hunters we have and help train them for guard duty as well as providing food and other such amenities for the village. He will say, I will help in any way I can.
While your help is greatly appreciated and much needed, I need to form a party and seek my sister out so I can pass power on to her, but I don't know where she is. Do either of you have any idea where she might have gone?
The shaman and the huntsman will both think for a second, and the shaman will say, perhaps I do. There is an old ruins nearby that she frequented when she was troubled by things of personal nature, and I believe she may have fled there when Malgar took over.
I'm just wondering. Escatla wouldn't finish that thought out loud. She'd keep that to herself for now. She would thank the two, for their offers to help and basically explain to them, the different, more domestic matters that she wanted taken care of and organized in the village. And then she would look to her party members currently around her and ask if they would like to accompany her to the ruins to seek her younger sister, Iskara.
Absolutely.
I'm in.
Blaze, Nargosh.
Oh, Nargosh is just gonna grunt.
I've been yelled at by gods already.
Nargosh has a lot on his mind. Oh, I just realized I'm missing my bear token.
Oh yeah.
I can always summon her later. It's no big deal.
You and your goddamn picture of Dan the man for your token.
Where is that?
In your character sheet?
Yeah, but Nargosh just didn't change though.
Well, it might change on the next map. But
If it does, it'd be
That's
funny.
okay.
basically, is there anyone that does not want to go?
Weiss is
I
still
will
sleeping
ask-
from the guard duty last night. He was up late, so
I will ask Escatla if she wishes me to stay and watch over the ongoings with the village.
Escatla would look at Forain and kind of, scan you up and down and, well, the fight in the village was pretty chaotic back there. There seemed to be a bit of trouble between you and the party, so I think I'd rather have you with me. This village has seen enough chaos.
As you desire.
Gotta call in Michael Jordan. He'll stop the chaos. In the Windy City.
Yeah, I was about to say, only in the Windy City, though.
Now, Scotla wouldn't say this in any particular mean way. Scotla has a lot on her mind, so her tone would be very monotone, metallic, sort of just straightforward, down to business. So you get the
Hey,
idea.
robot.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and head on out. I will leave Weiss here for now because I don't think we're gonna be going far, and let him sleep. And
I
besides,
do
if
have
anything,
animal messenger if should we need him. I can send that.
okay. And I have a feeling that should anything happen here in the village, Weiss will